So go one by one. This is a debate. So if you're not here to debate, you can leave the speaker space.
Hello, can you hear me good?
All right. Hello.
Hey, I wanted to ask about the presidential race. As far as I understand, Jackson, you're a Trump supporter, or am I wrong?
I stand with MAGA.
Okay. Well, don't you think that maybe RFK Jr. has a better stance when it comes to solving the war with Russia? He wants to do what JFK did during the Cuban Missile Crisis, open up a direct line and make sure that the intelligence agencies don't interfere with his communications and sabotage peace. I don't think Trump tried to do anything like that when he was president, and probably wouldn't try to do that again if he had a chance.
Okay, first of all, Trump went and literally met with Putin, Helsinki, and he did the same with Kim Jong Un. But so that's as close as you can get without having interference or wiretapping by the intelligence community. But uh, I like RFK on some issues, but when it comes to Ukraine, RFK Jr. is he's as much of a cretin as the rest of his DNC family. RFK's plan for Ukraine is to create a quote unquote demilitarized zone in the entire span of the Russian occupied territory, which is 87,000 square kilometers. And what he wants to do is he wants to kick all the Russian troops out of the territory they currently occupy, which is just insane. And then he said he wants to send UN peacekeepers, which we know are completely controlled by the West, into the occupied territory, which is it's going to revert the situation just back to 2014. So his solution is not a solution. RFK understands the issues at hand, what led to this, but his solution would be the wet dream of the deep state and of Zelensky if they could actually put that through. The fact of the matter is there's no way there's no conceivable way that you're going to kick Russian troops out of the 87,000 square kilometers that they currently control. By the time the next election comes, Russia's going to control a lot more. They're about within the next 30 days they're going to have a mid-sized offensive that's probably going to be aimed at Kharkov, the Bakhmut flanks, maybe Kherson even. And then next spring is when they're going to have their supposedly big blowout offensive. So um, the world will change a lot from now until the next presidential election. You can't change back what's already happened. Donald Trump is the only candidate right now who's saying what needs to be said, and trust him or not, he's saying if Ukraine doesn't agree to a peace deal, then I'm going to cut off all their funding immediately, and that will be the end of Ukraine because we know if you cut off their funding, their government's going to collapse within hours. So that's the only real path towards peace.
All right. Well, am I allowed to follow up on that?
Yeah, one last thing too I want to add is China. RFK is a China hawk, so I don't know why we would want to trade hostility with Russia for hostility with China, which is a significantly more powerful country, and whose a conflict with China would not be any prettier than one with Russia.
The only argument I could have against what you guys both said is that I don't believe you guys have an up-to-date, accurate, informed perspective on what RFK has said he would do in both those situations. I know when it came to the Taiwan-China situation that he said that he wouldn't say what he would do because that would be detrimental to any kind of real plan that you wanted to actually implement. But when it comes to Russia, as far as I could tell, he was saying that he would have been able to accept um, what's the agreement they had? I can't remember at the moment. But the agreement that they were basically signing with Zelensky that they sabotaged. But then he also admitted that since that happened and it was sabotaged, we would never be able to find peace with what the first agreement was. Now that that was done, we would have to concede more. So I think that he's more open-minded than I think you guys might have thought.
Yeah, but the thing is, even Trump, I don't really trust politicians. I don't care about these. They've had a chance to prove themselves. I don't buy it. It's really the movement that matters. And Trump, I don't even trust him, but his movement, that's where the people are. That's where at least there's something to hold him accountable with that movement. RFK is just I don't see it. I don't see what the point is. I mean, anyone can have a good ideas and get on stage and have, Vivek, he's got a lot of great ideas. He goes on stage, and yet he's a complete con man. He's a con artist because you can just tell from his background he's not going to follow through with anything he says. Who's going to hold him accountable? So, you know, I'm just sick of these politicians who come claiming to have good ideas, but they don't actually demonstrate leadership concretely to back it up. And RFK, yeah, I don't see the leadership there. I don't see why I should support him or trust him or bank on him, to be honest.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me speak. I don't want to take up too much time.
All right, next speaker.